Hi, Yuan. Last lesson we worked on our half past times. Remember, that's when the long hand is pointing all the way down to the 6 at the bottom of the clock. And we can also call it 30 minutes past the hour. Previously, we've looked at o'clock time. Remember, that's when the big hand is pointing all the way up to the 12. And we know our shorthand tells us what hour it is and that the hands always move in a clockwise direction. If you forget which way a clockwise direction is, have a look at the clock near you and think which way are the hands moving, and that will remind you what way clockwise direction is. Today we're looking at a new time concept, so it might be a bit tricky at first, but with practice we'll nail it, Yuan, called quarter past and quarter to. See how the blue hand, the long hand, is sticking out all the way over to the right for quarter past, and all the way over to the left for quarter to. So the only word that's changing is past and to. That's because here the big hand has gone past the 12, so it's quarter past. And here it's on its way up to the 12, following the rules of clockwise direction on a clock. So we call it quarter to. It's only got a quarter to go to 12 o'clock or o'clock. Hours and minutes. Is the hours hand the short hand or the long hand? Call it out. Hours is the short hand. Is the minutes hand the short hand or the long hand? Call it out. Minutes is the long hand. So here we've got the hour hand. It's the shortest hand on the clock. And here we have the minutes hand. It's the longest hand on the clock. When the minutes hand is pointing to 12, it is showing a full hour, and we call this time o'clock. So this would be 8 o'clock. All right, point with your hand. Which clock is showing 4 o'clock? Did you say this one? 4 o'clock, straight up to the 12. All right. We've been looking at how fractions and time overlap a little bit, and if we can get a pizza or a circle and cut it in half, that means we draw a line straight down the middle, and we only give someone half. What's on one side of that line? Well, today we're looking at the concept in fractions called quarters. A quarter is when we cut a full circle, or it could be a square, it could be any type of equal object, into 4 equal parts. So here we have a circle, and instead of just drawing one line and cutting it into half, a half is 2 equal parts, we're cutting it into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal-sized pieces. We call those pieces a quarter. So I've got 1 quarter here, 1 quarter here, 1 quarter here, and 1 quarter here. 4 quarters altogether. We can use these quarters to help us tell time. How many minutes make up a quarter of an hour? So an hour is a full way around the clock. If I'm only talking about a quarter of an hour, it's just going to be one of these 4 parts. How many minutes is in this quarter? Remember, when I'm counting minutes, each of these numbers represents 5, and I can use my skip counting by 5. That's the blue numbers around the outside, helping me to remember the minutes are actually these tiny little spokes, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between each 2 black numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can skip count by 5 to help me count the minutes. I've got 5, 10, 15. How many minutes in a quarter of an hour? 15 minutes. Show me 15 on your hands. I wonder if you did 10 plus 5 equals 15. Let's check this quarter. Does it also have 15 minutes? 5, 10, 15. Oh, 15 minutes are in this quarter of an hour also. What about here? 5, 10, 15. Every quarter has 15 minutes. So, Year 1, how many minutes make up a quarter of an hour? 15 minutes. I hope you called that one out. Now, when we're telling time, we either say it's going past the hour, so all of this yellow is it's going past, remembering our hands move in that clockwise direction, or it's going to the hour, and all of this green part is where we would use that word to. So here I could have 5 past, quarter past, half past. I'm in the past half of my clock. Once I get into the green, I could have 25 minutes to, quarter to. Oh, it's 5 to 12, or it's 5 to 1. You'd have to look at what the shorthand is pointing to tell me what it's 5 to what hour. With our quarters, here we have a quarter past. Our hands are moving in that clockwise direction, so it's gone past the 12 and he's gone a quarter past. Here's the blue hand. He's almost there. He's actually like a little minute maybe off. Maybe he's 14 minutes past, not quite 15 minutes past. But if he was exactly on that line, he's a quarter past, whatever the black hour hand's pointing to, quarter past 1, because this has just gone past the 1. It's not quite at the 2 yet. It's still in the 1 hour, which is all this space in between. Here we're on the 2, T-O, the 2 side of the clock. Quarter to, and what's the black hand almost pointing to? 12, quarter to 12. It's not quite 12 yet. It's quarter to 12. It's almost getting towards 12. Here I've got half past. And what's the black hand pointing to? 3. He's just gone past the 3. He's not quite at the 4. Right, can you tell me what time is this clock here representing? This one's the shorthand. This one's the longhand. It's important, Year 1, when you're drawing your own clocks, make sure that you really, really clearly make the shorthand really short and the longhand really long, so there can be no confusion which one's your hour hand and which one's your minute hand. This is actually a bit too confusing. It's like, which one's the hour, which one's the quarter? They're a bit too close in size. Try to make it really obvious which one's which. This is quarter past 6. The hour hand has just moved past the 6. What is this time? Call it out, write it down, tell someone nearby. This one's quarter to. He's heading up toward the 12. Quarter to, and what's he almost at? 4. Quarter to 4. And last one, what's the time showing over here? I wonder if you said 7:30, because we know when the long hand is facing directly down at the 6, it's 7:30. It's travelled halfway around the clock. All right, today I have for you a worksheet on Seesaw that looks like this. I would like you to go through using T for text or the pen to write the times you see on each of these clock faces, remembering to click the green tick when you're done. And then here it is. There's a digital game in Seesaw for you to play. You need to click this green telling the time button and it will open it up. And this is a digital resource about quarter past and quarter to time for you to have a little bit of a play with. Did I just freeze? So tiny tap.
Telling the time. Quarter past and quarter to. Tap on the big picture to begin. Let's begin.
Follow the instructions and have a play. All right, you have a fabulous day.